YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, back on Total War Rome 2. Gonna be trying to bring you some more Carthage campaign. I'm gonna probably do this campaign for a few days in a row just to knock out some parts. Some of you may be wondering why I'm not doing the Hemyar campaign. You'll find out soon, and it will make sense. So it's not gone forever. Just be patient. That's all I can say. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get back into this, where it looks like we were about to push across the Sinai into Pontic territory. So this ought to be pretty fun. Go ahead and upgrade that. So yeah, it looks like we've used our movement points for this turn. So we should be able to start the war on Pontus. We've got these armies training down here. This is like kind of my... That's an interesting army for me. That's going to put us up to 16. I think we can get the crossbow infantry here. We can. There we go. So that army will be up to full strength as well. So we'll have two full strength armies, and then I have this navy crossing over here that's got a supply ship. So we will invade Greece. Let's see. What else? So we've taken Teleferdum. Noreia is under siege by the Suebi. Interesting. They have a lot of sword masters in that army. That's right. So I wonder, are there any armies nearby that can reinforce? Yes, I had this one on the way. They're 4 turns to surrender. So I'm going to go ahead and try and march in and save my guys. And then I'm raising another fleet and another army up here to support Hannibal, because we're potentially going to run into a huge amount of resistance from the Abdani, and I don't want to underestimate them and get Hannibal killed. So that's where we're at. We got a lot of stuff going on in this campaign. I've actually really enjoyed this one. DEI mod has been a ton of fun. Let's see, is there anything good for the fleet? There could be. There's a whole bunch of stuff here. But extra tariffs and tax rates, yeah, we'll take that. Go Ferocious Warrior, Veteran Marine, there we go. We got something that had to do with the fleet. I probably need to make use of good fleets a little bit more, since I have a few buildings to train them from, because we could probably use them to raid coastal settlements and kind of push forward into places that we may not be able to get to via land yet.
My honorable master.
Really think I'm just keeping some of these factions around just for trade agreements. And the money from tariffs and all kinds of stuff. Running low on supplies. Oh, okay, yeah, so I see. So supply ships have supplies for so many turns. They are now out of those supplies. So let's go ahead and put them into port, because we're not really ready to go across just yet anyway, until all this nonsense is completed. Good, good. That's kind of cool how you have to run the supply lines. I like that. It's actually pretty neat. So what we'll do is we'll hit this port to this port, and then we should be able to drop those guys off in a couple of turns. And let's see, this army should be pretty close to completion. It is. And this fleet, we'll drop both our troops in Greek territory before we... Ooh, yeah, there's a lot of nasty attrition zone that we're going to end up marching through. Well, yeah, there's a little bit of attrition through here. Did this... Why did this army not have any movement points? Thought I ended the turn. That's kind of weird. So these guys are still 3 turns to surrender, but I can't move that army. Maybe it's one of the regional effects, or we got hit by an agent or something. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of harsh winter stuff, so... Well, it says winter supply lines cannot be established. Yeah, I don't know exactly what's causing it, but we got something causing it. We will just have to kind of be patient there. Bursis looks like it's pretty well turned around. We've got the Suebi on the run. I mean, we could probably go ahead and start getting into position out here in the Sinai. Well, we'll have to cross the Sinai, so we're trespassing on Pontus. can't say that I really much care. So we're gonna head towards Petra and Jerusalem. So we're about to get some pretty big wars going here. Should be a lot of fun. Alright, so the Suebi are going to go ahead and attack me. I get to defend, so let's defend our settlement. They must have gotten done building some siege engines. They got 4 swordmasters. Looks like 1 berserker I see, and then I don't know what those other units are that kind of have the mail armor. Looks like some noble spears maybe, and a couple of longbow hunters. I don't know exactly what kind of spears those are, but they look pretty well equipped. A couple of these cheaper looking spearmen as well. I do have these crossbow infantry, and they should be able to put down some pretty good wreckage on the Suebi. They have very good range and very nice killing power. Let's see, Hearth Companions. Those are the spear troops. Interesting. I don't know how good they are, and we won't be able to see that. These mercenary Gallic sword band aren't going to be good as mainline troops. I'm going to try and let's keep plenty of hoplites up here to kind of help hold the front. They're going to be troops that are kind of better on the charge. But we'll take what we can get here. And let's just kind of line the walls with crossbow infantry. And do what damage we can with them. We've got our general, and one way we could probably gain an advantage here is by bringing our cavalry in from another gate. So there we go. Let's get our cavalry outside the gates. I'm going to take the crossbow infantry off skirmish just to allow them to fire. Concentrate fire. Cause damage to everyone in this area of effect. That's cool. Probably be better if there's a unit kind of sitting still. Let's see. Germanic tribal champions. Let's check out some of these cool units. Those guys do look cool. Where are the swordmasters? Levy spears, tribal champions. Here's the swordmasters. Those guys look awesome. So, very, very cool looking. My crossbows are going to open fire. They have very long range. I'm going to let them use that to the best of their ability. And I have not very good horsemen, but I've got Volcae horsemen and a mercenary Libyan cav. I'm going to keep my general over here, though, to try and shore up the morale of my men who are going to be fighting in melee. And we're going to have to use our horsemen well, because there's a lot of enemy spears. Let's kind of bring it over here, where perhaps it kind of stays hidden. Maybe an opportune moment will present itself. We're starting to get quite a few kills already with the crossbows, so this is good news. Give the Suebians as much beat down as possible. These swordmasters look a little damaged, probably from the siege, but they're taking some pretty steady crossbow fire here as well. Oh yeah, they're getting hammered by crossbows. You can see the line of dead men behind the ladders. So I'm gonna let these crossbows fire away. In fact, that swordmaster's already wavering. That is excellent. I'm going to go off fire at will and back on, so they'll choose a new target. This swordmaster is now taking heavy fire from the crossbows, so yeah, I mean, these guys are getting straight wrecked. Crossbows are totally clutching out some major beating here. Let's kind of close that down a little bit. Oh yeah, this is great. This is great. Units just wavering all over the place. Those guys have like a huge description on their name. I'm gonna turn that off and back on, so hopefully they'll choose these Germanic champions as a target. See if we can get a few kills here. We've done a tremendous job beating back the Suebi ladders. Oh yeah, these Germanic champions are going to get really hammered on here. I'm going to try and let them take as much damage as possible. Looks like we've pretty well succeeded at that. Let's pull the crossbows back here. I'm going to try and bring my spears up. I'm going to leave these crossbows on the wall elsewhere. These two I'm going to take off fire at will. Yeah, they've wrecked this tribal champion here as well. There's more sword masters and Germanic berserkers, but they are all guarded by hearth champions back here, so I'm going to keep my cavalry safe at a distance. I'm going to leave that unit in formation attack. I'm going to leave a couple of these units in formation attack just because they should hold the line better in this particular position, and then I'll leave this one out of formation attack and hit him from the flank. Let's bring my general over. See if we can lend any support to these units over here. Dadgummit. All it did was help all the Gallic warriors over here. That's irritating. Guess there's no way of really targeting that one, so we'll see. A couple of my crossbow units are still absolutely wrecking. Almost 200 kills on them now. With my general nearby, the morale of my guys is going to be very, very sturdy. So yeah, the Suebi are just getting cleaned up on this one. Yeah, these guys do not have a prayer. I'm gonna have to pull these hoplites back. They'll get attacked in the rear, which, well, no, they didn't actually. I'm gonna put these guys now in formation attack and kind of guard where these guys are gonna be coming off the walls. So the formation attack I actually think is kind of helpful here because it keeps my guys' flank secure. Because they'll kind of hold. Whoa! Get my crossbows out of here. Oh crap! Misclicked. Where are we at? Okay, I need this other crossbow unit back here. Don't want them getting killed in melee. So I'm going to just pull away from the Germanic pikemen. That's interesting. Check out these guys carrying their pikes across the wall. Hadn't noticed them before. Morale-wise, though, they are not doing well. And let's see, the Germanic tribal champions... not doing well. Got another unit of berserkers coming up. I'll throw some more infantry in where needed. Let's just kind of see what else is left out here. One hearth companion and one sword masters. Let's bring our cavalry around and harass those units. Let's take these guys off fire at will. Let's bring some of these Gallic swordsmen over to help against the sword masters coming up here. These hearth companions are trying to push another ladder up. I have to give the AI props for actually finishing the siege. They don't usually do that well. You can see they're struggling though. So I'm going to bring some of these horsemen over here and we'll see what we can do. These are heavy melee cav, all of them, but none of them are going to be on the same level as my Carthaginian cavalry are typically, I don't think. These guys appear to have glitched out with their ladder. Now that's more like the AI siege. I'm going to bring these crossbows back up. Okay, let's bring these horsemen up. A lot of spear infantry here, but we'll see if we can potentially bring it down with some coordinated charges. There are some longbow hunters popping up now. I'm going to charge the enemy general unit, and then we'll charge this. I just want to pin those units down, and then see if a rear charge will knock them out. It may not, because I have very light, or not such great cavalry here. Actually, let's send the Libyan cav to chase all these bows, and let's get my heavier horse free to rear charge this stuff. Our cavalry's getting chewed up, but it's just mercenary cavalry, so I don't really care. We can always find others. I'm not super fond of this cavalry anyway. Got a nice charge on the swordmasters from behind right here, though. But that cavalry unit's already wavering. Of course, we made the swordmasters waver here as well. We can probably cycle charge here. I lost the other 2 cavalry units. But I'll use the Libyan cav to stay after the longbows. Did they break through the gates? I think they did. No, their guys are just routing out of the gates. Let's see. These guys trying to straighten their ladder out over here, swordmaster unit. Yeah, we weren't able to take all those guys out. Our cavalry was way too undependable for that. These guys appear to be getting their ladders to the wall. And they did finally break through the gate. I'm going to actually rear charge this swordmaster that's trying to position the ladder. I don't think they're going to like that. Let's see. Going to get pinned against the wall on a charge here. Yeah, they ought to take some pretty stout damage. Let's pull these cavalry free and keep them free just in case we need them. Alright. Maybe we can get rid of these pikemen. No, the pikes will go into pike formation. Just leave them alone. Let's side charge these hearth companions. See if the AI is going to try and get into the gatehouse. The gatehouse has oil, so they're going to get burned with scalding oil. I'm going to pull these guys up. Nope, the hearth companions are kind of pulling away from me. I'm just going to stay away from them. Too many spears there. We'll just let them be. I'm going to pull this cavalry way back out here out of the way. The swordmasters are now glitched out, though. Ah, jeez, the AI. Sieging is just not their strong point. There's the hot oil pouring out on the Suebians. And then they're going to be met by my Gallic sword band up at the top of the ramp. Not great units, but they should be quite capable of defending the entrance. I'm going to get this crossbow unit up here and let them fire at will. I'm going to do the same thing here. Got all kinds of enemies chasing this cavalry over here. I'm going to bring it inside the gates. Do the same thing with this one, so we'll just get away from the enemy infantry and then go inside the gates. The rest of their infantry out here is getting torn apart by crossbow fire. Crossbows have gotten an unreal number of kills here. 200 on one of them. 200 on a couple of them. The crossbows are now destroying the Eastern Germanic hunters, who look like they're a little glitched out too. Oh, good old AI siege. It is bad.
The battle is turning in our favor.
Yes, it is. I think our crossbows alone can pretty much finish this one off. And since we have the gatehouse with oil, I mean, them trying to get through the gatehouse is gonna really compound their losses as well. Take these guys off, fire at will, see if they can pick a new target. Let's watch these swordmasters try and run through the boiling oil. Isn't gonna be pretty. Let's follow them through the murder hole, where they're getting shot in the back by tower arrows, and then they're gonna meet all my Gallic swordsmen. Which, like I said, are not particularly frightening units, but being down there in that murder hole is not gonna be a good place for them. Looks like all the rest of the enemy units are going to shatter at the hands of my crossbows. Nope, they have this one Hearth Companions. Nope, it's gone. I think the Suebi just have this general left here. Crossbows are finally starting to run out of ammo, but they've done a spectacular job. Here we go. Yeah, these guys were out as soon as they came in crossbow range. I think they know what's good for them. So, clutch crossbows for the win. I don't think that unit had 400 kills until after the battle, and it just gives you some automatic cleanup kills. I don't know if it gives them out proportionately based on how that unit did. But anyway, we're going to be able to free up Noreia. Those guys can retrain. Do need to get... I'd like to have some better cavalry in that army, but I don't have access to any at the moment, so we're just going to have to put up with what we have. And honestly, the infantry in that army is nothing special either. But with the crossbows they're supporting, we should be in very good shape. Just because we can cause pretty extensive damage to enemy infantry, especially if it's not particularly well shielded. And to be quite honest, even if it is well shielded. So... Alright, see what we get here. Raise in rank. Increase in rank. Okay, I guess we just have to hit port. So yeah, I don't know how long we have to stay in port, so let's check out this. Resupply, expensive, -1 food, plus 10% logistics cost and upkeep, replenishment rate, fleet at sea. Your fleet is on open sea, supplies are depleted in 1 turn. We're not on open sea, we're in port.
Ready for orders.
That is nonsense. Situation docked. I guess it just takes till the next turn, so we'll sail around with this one and get them lined up. This is going to take a little bit of to do here. Let's bring Hannibal down here to meet the fleet, and we'll just make sure that we get plenty of supplies. This one's going to have to sail around, so it's going to be a little while before we can get Hannibal over to Hibernia. It's turned into really quite the exercise because of this. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and declare war on Pontus. They are allied with the Seleucids, Sardes, and Trapezzo, so we will have started a pretty large war over here. And hopefully I haven't bitten off more than I can chew. We got Pontic local cavalry, local militia, all this is looking pretty weak sauce, so just go ahead and auto-resolve, because that one's pretty much all in our favor. Just going to occupy here. And let's go ahead and hit Petra. Garrison spears. Pontic local archers. They're going to give me a bit of a beating on the auto-resolve, but I think it's probably acceptable. I'll quick save just in case we get screwed. So we'll go ahead and just grab 2 cities here real quick and start getting stuff converted over. Is this, we have to convert to Punic. And right now it's Desert Nomadic. That's interesting. Judaic, Hellenic. Interesting. Alright, well, I don't mind leaving that building for now. These are not very built up settlements either. Let's tear that down, tear that down. Might as well convert that over to ours, upgrade that. Let's upgrade the olive oil deal. +2 growth. Unfortunately, none of these really spread Punic influence, I don't think. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll start kind of converting this over. It looks like they've got this settlement and this one here that are all part of that. Looks like the Kedri own that one, so we do have some buffer. It's not all Pontus over here. These... Let's see how they feel towards me. Nabatea, they do not like me. They're unreliable. It looks like we got Saba and some other cool factions in here. I might do this just to try and finish off that province. We'll see. Up here, we finished these armies. Stance none. We're docked. Fleet ready to take off. So this fleet is ready to set sail. Let's bring this army down here into Brundisium. Okay. Alright. Let's get up here to Germania. We beat back our attackers, which is pretty great. We definitely needed that. Can't convert any of those yet. I do have this shrine to Tanit. We'll build up the other buildings that we need as well. I don't think we need this public order building there. We'll just get a little extra food out of this province. So Noreia should be under control. So Akink and Segestica are also there. So let's go ahead and move this army around. This army is going to have to kind of split up. Well, not exactly split up. We need to go hit Rugion and then move down. So let's prepare to do that. I think we should be good here. Got some skills to assign, and I do want to blow through one more turn end here real quick. Let's see. It's a judge. Alexandria authority. Let's open up authority. -2 upkeys, land recruitment cost, tax rate. There we go. And who else levels up here? Campaign movement range is going to be pretty nice. Okay, that's all the time I have for this episode. I'm going to pick this up next time from here. Hope you all enjoyed it. HeirofCarthage signing off for now.